So I wanted to make this video on the fact that a lot of people are talking a lot of crap about America. And it's crazy because if you know even a small amount about other countries and geopolitical situations going on across all the different continents, you would know that there is no other country like the United States of America. It doesn't even come close. Now, this is not to say that there is no opportunity anywhere else, but unless you are extraordinary, an exceptional human being with incredible talent and a distinguished individual, you have no shot in making it like you can in this country. Because if you haven't noticed, there's a lot of unexceptional people in this country that have platforms, that have made tons of money, and have garnered tons of influence with the public. There's no other country in the world that you can do something like that. And I'm sick and tired of hearing about how crappy America is. Look, of course, there's room for improvement in this country, but there's no better country in the world than this country. We are number one in the world. There's not even a debate. The only debate is within this country. Every other freaking human being in the world wants to come here. If they had an opportunity to become a US citizen, they would take it immediately. It's not even a question. And people in this country who hold a passport with the United States of America's symbol on it, shitting on our country. It's horrible. We have people right now talking crap about Elon Musk. The man is working overtime, auditing different departments and agencies who have clearly broken the law, who have clearly abused their ability to spend taxpayer money, who have totally broken the trust with the American people. And we have people trying to somehow twist that into something else. And at the same time, we have people trying to go against law enforcement. The United States of America is a country of laws. If you don't have the rule of law, we don't have the United States of America. But see, I understand there's a lot of people in this country today who clearly have never picked up a book, who clearly do not actually understand what the United States of America is all about. They don't know what the Constitution is. They don't know what the Bill of Rights is. They might understand what those words mean, but they don't understand what's written on those documents, what it actually means, what a fabric of society means, what the social contract means. They don't know what any of these concepts mean. They don't know the Magna Carta. They don't know any of these concepts. And they have this hubris from God knows where. It's insane. We have the rule of law in this country. And for people that do not know that this style of auditing has happened in the past, like I said, you have never picked up a book. You have no idea what you are talking about. It has happened in the past. It needs to happen every so often because scum come in through the back door and go and abuse an open system like the United States of America. We have people in this country who clearly hate the country. Why don't you just leave the country? But that's not enough. Leaving the country is not enough. You want to destroy the country. But unfortunately, that is never going to happen. Americans will never allow that to happen. I hope you understand that. You know, we just witnessed the greatest political comeback of all time. And make no mistake about it, the odds of President Donald J. Trump having his head carved on Mount Rushmore is a high possibility. He is doing what no politician in the last 100 years, except with the exception of JFK, have ever dared to do. Richard Nixon, possibly, but obviously you saw what happened to him. JFK, we all know. Ronald Reagan got out of the line, we know what happened. What you don't understand is that what we are witnessing is literal history. It is an incredible feat of strength to weather the political and judicial storm that Donald J. Trump has weathered. President Trump and every single person he has appointed so far have been working overtime. The usual for Washington, D.C. is people get appointed and nothing happens. We clearly saw an example of that in the last 4 years. We were told there was need for a new border bill for the border to be secured. Clearly that wasn't a lie. Most of the things that comes out of Washington, D.C. is lies. They don't believe in this country. They believe in the system of this country. There's a difference. The system of the United States of America is a system that allows those who have the knowledge and know-how to manipulate it and make lots of money, to amass tons of power. And those who are power hungry always gravitate to positions of power, clearly and naturally. And they are willing to do, say, anything that is required to gain those positions. That's why you see over and over again politicians making promises, and then when they become the elected official, none of what they said they were going to do gets done. That's by design, because they're liars. Now, nothing that's happening at the moment should come as a surprise to anybody, but it still does. And that's partly not the people's fault. You're too worried about how are you going to buy those eggs? How are you going to buy meat? How are you going to get through the week? Yes, you have been shoved to the corner as a taxpayer in this country for a very long time. Politicians who were elected to represent you have let you down. Those who were in charge of auditing the budget have let you down, with the exception of a few people in Congress who have been shouting for years. Ron Paul come to mind of people that have been yelling about the budget. With the exception of a very few, nobody cares. The money keeps flowing. I remember something my dad told me way back when. He told me that there's always been people with their hands in the cooking jar in this country, but you will never hear about it until the money starts running low, until this country starts getting into very, very shaky ground. We're there. We're $36 trillion in debt. With the new budget coming out, it'll be $40 trillion at least. Now, most people do not understand how incredibly impossible that number is. But it is not impossible to get back. It's not. It's going to require a lot of hard work. It's going to require drastic change, cost cutting, budget cuts. It's going to be painful. The federal bureaucracy in this country has gotten out of control. The number of federal employees in this country has gotten out of control. It's not like we have the most efficient system in the world for the amount of employees we have. So there should be cutting. And the fact of the matter is, a country cannot survive the way we're going. Because it's not like Zimbabwe, when the Zimbabwe dollar collapsed and people were hauling wheelbarrows to go buy a loaf of bread. Trust me, it's totally different. The scale of this country, the amount of people that are fully dependent on the system in this country, fully tapped into the matrix that is the US government, tit of free money, housing, and food, is massive. But the interest on our debt, for those of you who are not up to date, is ballooning out of control. Compound works on both ways. Compound interest works both ways. Put a little bit of money here, it compounds over 30, 40 years, you got a lot of money at the end. You have a small debt here, you continue adding to the debt, the compound interest on that debt, because you're getting more and more debt. We're not getting out of debt. We're at a debt deficit. Every year, we're getting deeper and deeper into debt. And people are yelling about people trying to cost cut, people trying to close down agencies that clearly have lost their way. It's not about aid to foreign countries. America's always done that and it will always do that. It's about waste, fraud, and abuse. So for those of you who hate America, who hate this country, I challenge you to find a better country. I challenge you to learn about this country. I challenge you to actually understand what a republic is. You clearly don't understand how good you have it. And I hope for my sake, my family's sake, and for your families and kids' sake, I hope we never find out how good you have it. Because if we ever look back in the rearview mirror and go, man, we had it so good, and we lose the dollar as the world reserve currency, and we lose our place in the world's power structure, folks, Viggo Mortensen's The Road will be a cakewalk. So I challenge those who hate America to find a better place. And if you do, go live there. It's a free country. You can leave on a plane, train, car, boat, whenever you want. You're free to do so. You're also free to stay. And you're free to learn more about this country. Obviously, the educational system in this country is lacking. The amount of people who are illiterate, who clearly cannot pick up a college level book and read it, comprehend it, is high. Even those who have gone to college and have a degree, some of you still, comprehension level is like 0. You just, it's incredible. It's incredible. The numbers don't lie. Numbers do not lie. But this video is about people who hate this country. Leave. Just leave. Go somewhere else. Find some other utopia. You know, a lot of people, oh, Europe is so great. Move to Europe. It's a free country. Go over there. And this is a small thought that you should try to do. A small idea that you should try to grasp. Even being allowed to be in a country that isn't America and not be a citizen, try to live there, buy houses, do anything that you normally do on a day-to-day basis without being legally in the country. Go and try it out. Tell us how it went. It's not going to go very well. So, I'm just ranting here because, you know, for the past few days now, you know, in truth since January 20th, there's been a lot of talk about how terrible America is, and it's just sickening. Is America perfect? No. But my God, there's no better country. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. I'm proud to be an American. I love America. I love everything about America. The freedom, the system, the structure. It's been misused by corrupt politicians. It's not the fault of our system. It's the fault of those who are corrupt. Our founding fathers even said that our system would only work with a moral society. Our society has crumbled. Immorality. Some people believe that they have their truth. There's no such thing as your truth. It's either true or false. It's either right or wrong. There's no your truth. This is insanity. But you're free to believe that. See how beautiful the country is? You're free to believe that you can have your own truths. And people do. But the fact of the matter is, you can look at the substance of what this society with no morals has created. You remove God from the structure of this country, you will get what you have been getting. God needs to come back into our structure, into our lives, into this country. God needs to come back into this country. Jesus, the God of the Bible, needs to come back into the fold of the country. Judeo-Christian fundamental ideals is what created this country. It's what created the structure of the United States of America. There's no better country in the world. There's no better country. And look, agree, disagree, whatever. But stop talking shit about America.